Hello and welcome. You're watching the SAP Sustainability Forum, the place for news, weather reports, and the latest sustainability updates. Want to know what technology your businesses need to enhance your journey towards sustainability? Want to automate your business processes intelligently? Want to gain insights using AI and machine learning to innovate your business models? Well, you've come to the right place. We all need to make the world a better place for the next generation, together. Over the next 60 minutes, we'll bring you the latest content. Join us as we connect with peers, partners, and experts to explore innovative technologies that will give executives the confidence to move towards a truly sustainable future. And later on, we'll show you how you can continue your own personal journey on the SAP Immersive Journey, a 24/7 platform where you can deep dive into sustainability in your own time, whenever and wherever you want. Coming up, we kick off with an opening message from Sandrine Pons, Regional Vice President, Head of Solution Sales and Innovation, EMEA North. We follow with a golden opportunity for you to contribute to sustainability by interacting with João Nunes de Matos and Sandrine Pons, who'll be looking at the facts regarding temperature trends, carbon emissions, best business practice, and the current state of our environment. They'll also look at how we as businesses and individuals can make a difference. We're delighted to have Gunther Rothermel, Co-General Manager and Chief Product Officer for SAP Sustainability, joining us to talk about an exciting new technology that'll help you control and reduce your carbon emissions using the latest innovation by SAP, Green Ledger. We're also honoured to have Michael Bates, Global Leader of Intel's Energy Centre of Excellence. He'll be joining us to tell us how they're working with SAP to address the big challenges ahead when it comes to transforming IT and improving the energy grid worldwide. Earlier this year, SAP had its first Regional Innovation Forum, where business leaders, customers and partners came together to explore how we can improve innovation for a better future. We have customer testimony and reaction to that great event, showing how we can move forward together by brainstorming, innovating, and sharing experiences. And there's more. We'll talk about the latest innovations with SAP's Cloud ERP with Veronique Hangard, Head of New Business and Mid-Market EMEA North SAP, and Ronald Billey, Head of ERP Cloud for Mid-Market EMEA North. Your business needs a strong and up-to-date business technology platform. You can enhance your business processes, streamline your supply chain, lead a healthier life, and connect with your customers during times of disruption. How? You'll hear from the following companies. Amista, an IT consulting company that helps customers innovate in their business. Sanctuary, a leading housing and care provider in the UK. Fitcoin, a fitness application company that tokenizes to reward people's healthy habits. And Girteka, a Europe-wide transport company. They'll be talking about their latest supply chain improvements. But first, here's Sandrine, Regional Vice President, Head of Solution Sales and Innovation, EMEA North.
Thank you, Anda. I would like to start welcoming you, all of you, at the SAP Sustainability Forum and telling you a short story. A couple of months ago, I was riding a bike with my two kids in a forest near my house. I come from a region in the south where temperatures have been increasing significantly over the years. We were exploring the forest when, all of a sudden, we were surrounded by the flames of a very big fire. Even if we were lucky enough to make it home safe, this event will remain in our minds forever. This can happen to any of us if we don't take action now. What we have known as normal is over. Temperatures over the seasons are more and more extreme and our health is at risk. We can and we must do something. I have hope, not just a dream. We are the last generation that can avoid that result. What would we want to leave our kids? Oh, speaking of kids, look at these pictures of Enda as a baby. Oh, so cute. If that baby could talk, what would he say? I think he would be looking forward to a wonderful future and a safe planet where he can fulfill his dreams, live well, and find a career that is productive and makes the world a better place. Our customers, partners, and peers share the same vision. And us at SAP, we firmly believe that by providing the best innovative solutions, business will thrive in a more sustainable way. At the heart of this ambition, we have developed an accounting system to carbon emissions that tracks every single business transaction. Once integrated into your business processes, you will be able to control your carbon footprint in conjunction with your financial data. Today, you will hear success stories from customers and partners on how to create a greener business model where productivity goals and environmental ones targets can work together. Tomorrow is now. Together, we can work wonders. It's a great pleasure to be here today with Joseph Nunes, who's leading customer innovation in the region. Get ready to interact and be surprised. Allez, let's go!
Taking care of a planet is becoming more important than ever. We must face big challenges like climate change, loss of wildlife, cutting down too many trees, and not having enough clean water. It may seem tough, but it gives us a chance to come up with new ideas to make and run a better and stronger world.
Living in a sustainable way means making choices that are good for the environment. If we all work together, we can make a big difference and build a future where both people and nature strive. That's the heart of sustainability. It might not be easy, but it will be worth it. Let's start now.
I have a question for you. Do you know what represent these colorful graphics?
It's not a new French Olympic game flag. The iconic stripes are showing temperature trends over the last 100 years.
Great, it's created by Professor Ed Hawkins at the University of Reading, UK. The global warming stripes are a simple visual representation of the long-term rise in global temperature due to the climate change. Each strip represents the global temperature average over 1 week from 1850 to now. Red strips are years that were hotter, and those strips are years that were cooler.
Let's start our journey exploring 3 levels: global, business, and human.
On a global level, sustainability and carbon impact are related to the cumulative actions of all humans and countries. Global agreement, like the Paris Climate Agreement, intend to reduce global greenhouse gas emission to prevent excess warming of the Earth. The collective actions of countries towards using renewable energy, conserving biodiversity, reducing deforestation, and encouraging sustainable practices can significantly lower global carbon emission and chase zero emission.
Let's have a quiz about global numbers. What is the percentage of the Earth's surface water covered? What is the percentage of safe drinking water?
What is the percent of the Earth's surface forest covered? What percentage of living species are centered in the forest? Earth has been referred to the blue planet due to the abundant water on its surface.
On a business level, any companies and organizations have direct and indirect effects on the environment. Our practices contribute to carbon emissions through our use of energy, materials, and land.
Therefore, adopting sustainable business practices is crucial, like circularity or extended producer responsibility. This can be through reducing energy consumption, minimizing waste, adopting renewable energy, using sustainable supply chains, reducing water use, and implementing corporate social responsibility programs.
Many businesses are also doing carbon offsetting, where they invest in environmental projects to balance out their own carbon footprints.
Not only do these efforts lower carbon emission, they often make good businesses sense by reducing cost and improving the company's image and attractivity among consumers, employees, and investors.
Now, let's have a quiz about business numbers. How many tons of material resources are used each year? What is the percentage of these material resources that are recycled?
How many millions tons of plastic are produced every year? What is the percent of this production that are for single use only? Approximately 50% of which is produced is for single use purpose. Unlike for all the resources, only 9% of the plastic production is recycled.
Let's look on an individual level. The choices we make daily have an impact on carbon emissions. This includes the food we eat, the products we buy, how we travel, and how much waste we generate.
Adopting a sustainable lifestyle could involve reducing meat and daily consumption, shopping responsibly, reducing waste, recycling, composting, taking public transportation, reducing air travel, and using energy efficiency at home. As consumers, individuals can also influence business to become more sustainable by supporting companies that prioritize and implement sustainable practices.
Let's have a quiz about human numbers. How many humans we are today? World population is growing due to the progress in healthcare and well-being. How many trees are there on our planet? In fact, 3 trillion is 3 following by 12 zeros, so each human got 400 trees.
At all these levels, it's important to understand that the actions taken towards sustainability are interconnected. We are all part of the same earth, and we need to care each other to sustain the resources. Collective individual actions can lead significantly social change. Everyone has a part to play in the climate change solutions.
Likewise, the practices of businesses can have a big impact, influencing industry standards and business models. At the same time, global policies and international collaboration provide the framework and infrastructure needed for large-scale sustainable transformation.
Now the question is, why is it important to plant trees? Because they use photosynthesis to convert CO2 into oxygen, which is released back into the atmosphere. Carbon is stored in leaves, tree trunk, root branches, and soil. Leaves and branches add carbon to the soil and act as a carbon bank. On average, a single mature tree can absorb about 22 kilograms of CO2 per year. If we assume the average lifespan of a tree to be around 100 years, battery could absorb 2 tons of CO2 in its lifetime.
Wow. So many people connected and asking questions. Don't worry, we'll answer you all.
And guys, thank you to you. We have already saved close to 10 tons of CO2 with all the trees that we will plant. This is only the beginning of our journey towards a greener future.
Back to you, Anda.
Thank you, Sandrine and Joe. This just in. All newborn babies on Earth have announced a worldwide strike unless we fix the planet. A spokesbaby for the UNNBB, the United Nations of Newborn Babies, is quoted as saying, "You invited us to the party without cleaning up the house. Get your act together." More on that later. And now, on a related story, we go live to Gunther Rothermel, Co-General Manager and Chief Product Officer for SAP Sustainability, who'll share more on carbon accounting, the green ledger concept and the backbone of a sustainably run business. Hello, Gunther, and welcome to the Sustainability Forum. Can I ask you, you've said that climate change represents an existential threat to societies everywhere and that businesses are under pressure to take action. Why is SAP the best partner to support our customers when it comes to carbon accounting?
Yeah, that's a great question, and thank you for having me in this forum. Really appreciate it. Well, look, when you see what's happening in this world of sustainability, it is clear that enterprises need to act more and more. There is more and more regulations coming, be it within countries or even on a global level. Companies simply have to respond to that, and they have to comply with these regulations. And there's also a lot more intrinsic motivation by the organizations to move forward with a positive sustainability contribution. So when you look at that picture and what companies need to do, it is clear that they have to move sustainability into the core focus of their business operations. It's no longer a topic that can sit aside and be treated as an afterthought. It becomes part of your business operations, or in other words, you need to start to embed this really into the business processes that you run as an organization. Mm-hmm. Now, this is where, of course, SAP is in a very strong position to provide this help and support to our customers, that we truly cover sustainability as part of the key business processes. So this is touching finance, this is touching procurement, this is touching logistics, and so on, right? So that's at the end of the day where I would say SAP is in a very strong position to help our customers with these challenges around sustainability, to help them also to differentiate themselves against their competition moving forward. And that's why we have this very important sustainability activities inside SAP.
Could you please describe carbon accounting and the green ledger concept to a non-techie like me, and how customers can get started?
Yeah, that's one of the key topics we drive. And of course, when we talk about sustainability, let me quickly say there are several important topics we tackle, like also circular economy and social responsibility. But the carbon topic, of course, is on top of everybody's mind, right? Why this is so essential for climate change. This is so essential for also some of these major regulations. So carbon is an entity that almost every organization has to deal with. Now, the question is, how do we deal with this entity of carbon, right? And at the end of the day, we want to make carbon, but also other entities, important resources that are treated like other resources, like we used to treat them in an ERP system, right? So we have materials, we have raw products, we have end products, and so on. And then we also need to treat carbon as an important entity moving forward. Now, having said that, we want to apply also the experience and the background we have in finance and all of the rules that are applied to finance also to this world of carbon, right? So when we say carbon accounting, the aim is to do carbon and work with carbon and also manage it like we, for example, manage financial resources as well. So that's the broader picture. Now, when you zoom in one level deeper, there are different entities that we need. And indeed, the offering that we have as SAP includes these different entities. So first, you need to be able to calculate the carbon footprint on a product level, but also then aggregate it up on a corporate level. This is what we do in a product which we call SAP Sustainability Footprint Management. That's a key entity which a lot of customers are doing, and that is where you bring together material flows, energy flows, and then calculate the carbon footprint. Now, another important activity is that organizations cannot handle the carbon topic just within their own four walls. They have to involve their partners. They have to tap into the whole value chain. And this is the second building block which we need, which is about carbon data sharing. We have launched a important capability here at Sapphire, which is called the Sustainability Data Exchange, which allows customers to do exactly that, to share carbon in a standard way across different entities. Because only then can you look at decarbonization, only if you understand the full value chain. And then finally, building on these topics I just described, building on these capabilities, we will over time go one step further and say, we do a full ledger for carbon, like you know it from finance as a ledger, right? So I need to think of this like a usual set of accounts and the bookkeeping rules that you know from finance, and that applied to carbon. So that's the green ledger idea. And all together, ability to calculate carbon footprint with SFM, the ability to share data across the network with the Sustainability Data Exchange, and then fully account for it and make the trade-offs also with other financial aspects in finance along a ledger. That's the vision we have for carbon accounting overall. And it's a modular approach. Customers don't need to use it all, but they can use it in combination. But that's the idea. And I dare to say that's a strong vision, and we get really, really good feedback from customers and a lot of great interest to define and use that with us moving forward.
And Gunther, could you please break down the importance, in your view, of S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition and the business technology platform as the backbone of a sustainably run business?
Absolutely, and that's basically the boundary conditions which also we use for our sustainability stack. So I think I started to explain why sustainability and ERP in general, in of course our SAP S/4HANA, both public cloud as well as private cloud, are so important for our sustainability stack, because we tap deeply into the business processes. We make use of the enterprise data which sits in S4, and in both ways. We use it to calculate, but we also bring sustainability data back into S4HANA, like I just explained in the example of finance. So that is our backbone, and it's very important that the strategic transformation customers are doing for the world of sustainability is a combination of the sustainability capabilities I just started to explain, but then also SAP S/4HANA. And that's why this is so often so tightly connected. And that's very important. Then our customers understand this. They understand that this is tied to their processes, and it's a topic which is very close and embedded into ERP. Now, the business technology platform also plays a key role. And that is, for example, for the topic of data integration. When you look at the world of sustainability, then there is a lot of regulations. And for these regulations, for example, you need to get data out of finance, out of HR, for social topics, out of other sources. And that typically in reality means you have to connect systems. You've got to tap into this data. And that, for example, is one of the areas where business technology platform plays a major role. Also for our customers. Of course, we are building the new products I just explained on top of BTP as well, which is another element of SAP's strategy. So the combination of SAP S/4HANA, the sustainability capabilities tightly interacting with S4 and the data in there, and BTP both as the platform for the apps themselves, but also for integration and getting data together. That's the combination which we put forward, and that is what will also make our customers successful.
Gunther, thanks for joining us on the SAP Sustainability Forum.
Thank you as well for having me.
Well, viewers, we now go straight to our platinum sponsor, Intel. We want to thank them for their support, and we are delighted to have them with us today. We'll be joined by Michael Bates in just a minute. He'll be talking to us about how they're tackling climate change by promoting carbon neutral computing and production, and by driving sustainable outcomes throughout the ecosystem. But first, here's an introductory video from Intel. And now, here's Intel's Michael Bates.
My name is Michael Bates. I am the global leader for Intel's Energy Center of Excellence. Today, we'd like to talk a little bit about what's happening in this energy transition and how an Intel and SAP working together to address the big challenges in the transition. Like we have done together as partners over the last 25 years, as our companies work together, not only to transform the enterprise IT side of the house, but also now looking at monetizing in the vertical side, especially in the energy side, that we're going to talk about today. I'll talk a little bit about kind of top down, how Intel and SAP have come together to drive these solutions into the market. As I said before, a lot of our history has been on applying the horizontal solutions that Intel is deploying to the SAP platform to drive more outcomes, of course, grow business. But as I said before, we're also looking to hone our go-to-market skills by applying these horizontal solutions to some of the big vertical industries that we see that are undergoing transformation. And today, in particular, we're going to talk a lot about the utility industry. We're going to talk a little bit about the oil and gas industry as they both look to drive this energy transition. But before I start and getting into some more of the details about how Intel and SAP are working together, I want to talk a little bit about Intel's own RISE initiative. And for Intel, I think I can safely say this, we're really good at making things into acronyms. In this case, RISE, R-I-S-E, represents our approach to applying our technologies and solutions and partners to the big issues around sustainability. We see as a company a responsibility for deploying all this goodness that Intel has developed over the last 50 plus years to this energy transition we're going to talk about in an exclusive way. Inclusive in that the folks that maybe can't afford solar panels or EV electric vehicles are also have the ability to benefit from some of the technologies we're deploying, some of the solutions. But we're doing it in what we call enabling sustainable way, the S and the E of our acronym. Enabling in that we're looking to apply those technologies we just talked about, but also in a sustainable way, not just for the next few years, but these technologies deployed over many decades to achieve what we call carbon neutral computing, to address not just climate change and climate mitigation and lowering carbon footprint, but also climate resiliency and preparing the grid, preparing the energy systems for the coming impacts of climate change. And we do this in, I'll call it a continuous innovation cycle. The first step that we take in this sustainability journey, is to look and uncover every opportunity to reduce Intel's own footprint through the manufacturing processes, as well as really tight, deep relationship with our supply chain to ensure that the products and materials that we consume at our factory when we're creating cutting edge technology, we're doing it from a sustainable starting point. We also then, as we bring those products and raw materials in and turn those into products, we really look to drive sustainability into the products themselves, not just in the silicon, but also the platforms and software that enable those technologies to actually deliver sustainable results. And then lastly, and not lastly, but the next component in that circle of innovation is collaborating across the ecosystem with companies like SAP, where we look to take all these great sustainable products and turn them into solutions that drive outcomes in this area of energy transition, which is one of the largest growth areas that we see as a company. And it's not just Intel saying that. What I'm put here is just a few talking points that I pulled out of an article that's about a year old that came from Forbes magazine. And the reason I pull this one out, and there's lots of other articles that we could look at, there's lots of other data points that we could look at, but this one in particular, I thought was eye-opening. One, this study was done in partnership with the International Energy Agency, where they believe there's $100 trillion investment opportunity in this energy transition. That's just beginning, that size of investment. Also, the goal of by 2050 having up to 90% of global electricity generation through renewables. That's a giant leap from where it is today. And then the last point I want to make out in this particular data point is the three areas that Forbes and the International Energy Agency believe need investment are the same areas where Intel and SAP are working and focusing our efforts, not just inside co-developing solutions, but also working with the buyers of these solutions. Those three areas are building out more renewable energy capacity, modernizing the electric grid in ways that allow for unlimited amounts of these renewable energy capacity to be brought onto the grid, and then power storage, the ability to take that energy and store it to fill the peaks and valleys of the changing energy system. And we look to do that through this edge platform as a service from SAP and Intel, sold through our partners to accelerate this energy transition. And the reason why I focused on the as a service, I think, is a key message for Intel and SAP is, first of all, a lot of the buyers that we work with today have a real sense of urgency to drive this whole energy transition, but they're doing it in areas that they may not have expertise. They may not have technology expertise. They may not have a full understanding of the impacts of these technologies on the energy transition. So they're looking to the ecosystem today to buy these services through it as a service model. And I think that's something that we should look to embrace, to not just accelerate the transition by being able to engage customers in this model, but also I think it allows us to work with our end users to find the new revenue streams that they're also looking for in this energy transition in a platform model that allows them to be very flexible and nimble as the transition evolves. And in a way that is, as this slide describes, real and virtual. And when I say real, I mean real time, local decision-making happening in real time in a virtualized, call it software-defined infrastructure. And this is an area where Intel and SAP, I believe, are highly differentiated in their approach to the market. From the Intel perspective, the technologies that you see that are needed for this energy transition to become real-time, deterministic, time-sensitive, and virtual include our pervasive connectivity, the software and integration of the software with the SAP platform to allow for this software-defined cloud edge infrastructure, and then the introduction of AI to advance the acceleration from cloud to edge. And if you can think about, this isn't just a marketing message, cloud to edge. This is a real operational message with an understanding that the energy transition is to incorporate a lot of real-time but very intermittent loads deployed at the far edge of the grid. So the need here for the acceleration of the energy transition is real-time connectivity where decision-making will happen in almost autonomous fashion. You can think, if we're relying on things like solar, for example, and we all know based on weather conditions, solar doesn't produce energy at the same rate all the time. Clouds move over one area and cloud out the solar, for example. So we need to be able to make instantaneous decisions as those intermittent nature of these loads change. And again, I think that's where Intel and SAP shine. I think the core capabilities of Intel married and combined with the core capabilities of SAP and SAP HANA really make for a very differentiated approach to this market, a very differentiated approach for our buyers, as I mentioned before, allowing our buyers to be able to navigate and through this transition with a platform that allows them the flexibility, not just on the edge, intelligent edge side through the software-defined infrastructure, but also through the application side. We're going to unlock valuable streams of data from the edge as we roll out these platforms. That data is going to provide insights that our customers may have never seen before, which I think will also open up the opportunity to deliver more services in the energy transition. So I'm super excited, not just to solve for the real-time decision-making needed in this energy transition, but also being able to collect the data needed to develop a new set of services around energy and the use of energy. Think EV charging, think purchasing of renewable energy, to create whole new revenue streams for our customers. So we're really looking forward to working with SAP going forward to drive this energy transition, accelerate this energy transition through this marrying of these two different but integrated solution approaches. And again, I think this is just to close, not only is this one of the most impressive business growth opportunities that I think we've seen, and I'm old enough to be able to make that statement, but I also think it's early. The transition is early, and I think Intel and SAP together have come to the market with an approach that allows for this acceleration to drive more revenue, lower carbon footprint, and I think even most importantly, prepare future generations for an energy system that will have some uncertainties due to the impacts of climate change. So I'm going to close my remarks here and invite you to join Intel and SAP on this journey. Reach out to us, especially with opportunities, but more in particular, opportunities where you see solution development together with Intel. And let's see what kind of noise we can make in the market.
Thanks to Michael and Intel. SAP are dedicated to meeting the challenges we now face when it comes to tackling how businesses can improve their sustainability. With this in mind, we joined forces with customers, partners, and thinkers at the SAP Regional Innovation Forum to share their experiences so we can work towards a better world. Here's a sample of some of the customer feedback from that special event.
So like the setup, innovation on people, innovation on environment, which is very dear to our heart at Heineken. We have very big commitments to be carbon neutral within 10 years in our own footprint and within the next 17 years in the total supply chain. And I think we need technology and all hands on deck with partners to actually make that happen. So, yeah.
I think for me, the innovation is actually something what helps you make things, help you to make things easier. I think that's really what makes the innovation interesting and challenging at the same time, because it just helps you really to do things differently and figure out the new ways of working, new business models, new technologies, new processes, new people in your life to actually make it a more sustainable and more productive environment, let's put it like this.
I think that as a society, we're kind of at a watershed, and I think that we need large organizations to take leadership on a variety of different things. And innovation is whether it's technological or societal or environmental. I think these things are vital for us as a society right now, because we need leadership more than anything else. And this should come from commerce.
And especially sustainability was a surprise to me, I think, and encouraging and positive impression that SAP has this big awareness for sustainability, and especially with my conversations here with SAP colleagues, it's very positive to me.
Today we were asked if we were the CEO of the planet, what would we do? So we're all on all of this together, so we have a big challenge for the future, but we have the right minds here today to look at this in a different way and with a bigger picture and looking at the future. So this brings me a lot of hope as well. And I've been connecting with a lot of people. It's to build a better world with the technology, how we use it in the best way as possible.
It's a lot of insights, it's a lot at the same time. But what remains for me again is people-related. What technology can do with people, how it can be helpful to make our life easier, but also, and that was really for me maybe the most important thing, it's a wake-up call on several levels. We are responsible. We are not just there to live it and to enjoy technology. We also have a responsibility to, with our innovation, help to shape the future.
Innovation is about also, a lot of different things. And SAP is innovating in their systems. That's one point. But what we saw during this event is that innovation is not only this. Innovation is about people, environment, how we work with people differently. This is innovation. How we think about environment in our business models. This is innovation. So innovation is not only technology. It's about also people, working with people, managing people. It's about how we design our products, but it's also how we use or how the users are going to use our products. So innovation is a lot more than what we could think at the first sight.
And now, the weather forecast. Extreme areas of high and low pressure in harder to predict places in the coming decades across both hemispheres, unless, and I'm quoting the president of Meteorology International here, we all do something soon. And by soon, I mean now. The head of the UNNBB chimed in what he said. And now a special report that might interest meteorologists, babies, and businesses. We examine the core of most organizations, ERP, and how making the right choices can enhance your sustainability journey, regardless of your organization size, growth velocity, or industry. And here to break down cloud ERP innovations for you, I'm delighted to introduce our special guest speakers, Veronique and Ronald.
So I am here with Ronald Biet, leading our cloud ERP for mid-market in the region. Welcome, Ronald.
Hello, Veronique. Thanks for having me here at the Sustainability Forum. Really appreciate it. A topic that is close to the heart of many people, I'm sure.
Indeed, Ronald. I can't agree more with you. Let's kick off. So we heard Gunther speak about the importance of sustainability today and how SAP will play its role in here. Now, how does it relate to cloud ERP?
That's an important question, Veronique. Let me start stating that SAP Sustainability and Cloud ERP go hand in hand. Gunther also touched it briefly during this session. When we talk about Cloud ERP, we talk about business processes, right? Whether that is about finance, about procurement, about logistics, or any other business process for that matter. And so Gunther stated that sustainability is no longer a topic on the sidelines or an afterthought. It is and will become more and more part of your core business operations, tapping into business processes and thus your cloud ERP solution. Do you know that SAP touches 90% of all global financial material flows? And with that, most business operations will create environmental and social impact. This is why we believe we are uniquely positioned to create positive economic, environmental, and social impact by actually integrating sustainability in our core cloud ERP solution. By embedding sustainability data into core business processes, we will provide our customer a strategic and operational decision-making foundation.
Thanks for this insight, Ronald. And good to see that SAP takes sustainability into the heart. It's now more than logical we fully integrate it with cloud ERP, and I'm sure companies understand this. Even more, it will help them in their future decision-making to become a zero-emission company. Now, let's go to the topics of cloud ERP itself. It's clear we brought our core solution ERP since years now to the cloud. Can you tell me a bit more about it? Is there really a momentum, and why do companies choose to deploy cloud ERP platforms?
Certainly, Veronique. There's a lot I can tell you about cloud ERP itself. First and foremost, we definitely see a shift from on-premise monolith architecture to a cloud module architecture. This comes with cloud benefits such as continuous innovation, easy extensibility, and cloud economics, exactly what companies are looking for. We really see a huge momentum in companies moving to our cloud ERP approach. Now, looking specifically at our S/4HANA public cloud option, we saw a spectacular acceleration over the last 24 months. Hundreds of companies are actually subscribing to our S/4HANA public cloud solution, and it keeps on growing. Now, looking at analyst reports, some predict that in 2024, over 60% of product-centric companies will adopt cloud ERP platforms. For service-centric, this percentage is even higher. Now again, and this is not because we at SAP decided this, it is the market and our customers driving our SaaS cloud ERP strategy. Companies are demanding constant innovation with minimal or zero disruption. The market is expecting easy and rapid deployments with the fast time to value, actually in months, not in years. And on top, the new generation of software consumers, millennials and the Generation Z, are demanding easy and intuitive user interface. And finally, the market wants a significant TCO reduction. Now, we are convinced that our S/4HANA public cloud is uniquely positioned to deliver all this. Now, why is that? It's a ready-to-run cloud ERP that delivers the latest industry best practices, gives continuous innovation, and allows you as a company to accelerate business growth. The latter by maximizing actually top and bottom line. And of course, important here in the sustainability, also the green line. And who better than actually a customer who adopted S/4HANA public cloud to talk about the reasons why they moved. We asked Let's Get Checked, a company that delivers affordable healthcare solutions to the homes of people, to talk about it. Let's roll the video.
Let's Get Checked is a digital health company delivering healthcare solutions into the home. The mission we're solving is effectively getting worse. So when we started out, we saw the problem globally of aging populations, shortage of clinical workers. So for us as a business, we need to grow by orders of magnitude, and we're not going to do that without the right tools and infrastructure in place, and it's SAP that's going to enable us to do that.
By using SAP S/4HANA from the public cloud version, we've been able to solve a lot of the problems that we had within the business. So inventory management was one in particular, getting that end-to-end sales flow from our sales order to forecast to manufacturing. It's a big challenge, and SAP's made it all very, very easy and able to manage effectively.
There were probably three critical things we wanted to do with SAP S/4HANA public cloud to automate a huge number of manual processes in the past. SAP's seamless integration with other technology solutions is, again, one of the key benefits we find with it.
SAP S/4HANA, the public cloud version, is really allowing Let's Get Checked to grow for the future, scalably, again, allowing for seamless integration. It's allowing for our sustainability for the future, and it's allowing us to adopt best practices at a very reasonable cost.
It's just taken care of so much for us, hit all our SLAs and enabled us to scale and to grow with our partners and deliver on the quality of service we need to provide as a business.
Impressive, Ronan, and good to see that many companies embrace our cloud strategy. It's great that thanks to this modular approach and the cloud benefits that come along with, companies can digital transform themselves and grow significantly. Now, can you explain me what type of company are embracing our cloud ERP strategy?
Of course, Veronique. And the answer is quite simple. All types of companies today here in the audience, actually. Now, to elaborate a little more on the question, which I would like to relate again to S/4HANA Cloud, let me give you some additional insight. First, all those companies without any SAP legacy that are looking for a true SaaS ERP. These companies value simplicity and speed, and the ability actually to grow with the solution. Now, another major category is existing customers that want to move to the cloud, but at their own pace, what we call a two-tier approach. They want their traditional business in on-premise or private cloud to keep it, to actually leverage existing investments, but want to start moving parts of their business, such as high growth subsidiaries or newly acquired companies, to public cloud and extend the cloud deployments over time. And then lastly, we also have existing customers that want to move their entire business to public cloud. They are running a legacy ERP system, most of them ECC, and actually a lot of them here in the audience. They have been successful with ECC ERP, but now want to simplify and shed IT costs to actually go to out-of-the-box best practices and leave some customization behind. By the way, some of these customizations that are now standard in Cloud ERP.
Amazing, Ronald. It's great to know that Cloud ERP and of course also our sustainability vision can bring value to all companies here in this audience. I have a last question for you. What brings the future for Cloud ERP?
That's a great question, Veronique. The future is of course bright for Cloud ERP and even more important for our customers adopting to our strategy. Now, we could probably fill an entire next forum on this topic, but I will try to keep it brief. Let me start by saying that our investments will continue to increase in cloud ERP solutions and our strategy. Our strategic direction of a cloud-first, cloud-focused approach is one that the tech industries and our customers are already going. On top, we will continue to help customers thrive in their industries and fast-changing business environments. We will do this by also focusing our investments on some strategic innovations that customers can effectively adopt. Now, these new strategic innovations will have a cloud-based delivery and only be available with our RISE or GROW offering. This is actually the only way for us to continue delivering market-leading ERP solutions that all of you customers count on. Now, to elaborate shortly on what these strategic cloud innovations are, it actually refers to new solutions or capabilities that enhance or extend ERP processes. Examples include generative AI, green ledger, and industry cloud solutions. The solutions are engineered to seamlessly integrate with the latest release of S/4HANA Cloud and are generally updated at a regular interval. Lastly, and I think this is a good transition to the next topic, I also want to touch on our business technology platform. So what I want to say is that SAP BTP and S/4HANA Cloud go actually hand in hand, and it will be crucial to keep the core clean. I invite you to stay and listen to the different customer testimonials. You will learn that for many of these companies to start a journey to the cloud, for them to get the full cloud benefits and to start consuming innovation on a continuous basis in a rapid way, there are actually three things. Step one is Cloud ERP through RISE or GROW. It's actually bringing your core system into it. Secondly, SAP Signavio, what is all about business processes and bringing them to the standards. And lastly, the third part, the actual business technology platform. It is all about how you leverage a platform from an extensibility perspective, from a modular perspective, so that you can make the core clean and lean as well.
Thanks, Ronald, for giving all these insights. I'm convinced it has been beneficial to all our audience. It was great to have you here. Back to you, Enda.
Thank you. Earlier this year, the SAP Business Technology Platform Forum addressed the sustainability issue. We now bring you some of the highlights. First up, Amista, an IT consulting company that provides market-leading solutions, tells us how automation can increase business efficiency.
Yeah, I think supply chain is definitely an important area for automation, as you mentioned, because speed and agility is super important. So, for example, for one of our customers, they had a lot of manual activities in the warehouse that plays a crucial role in this supply chain, of course, where they had to create delivery notes, they had to create all the paperwork for the truck drivers, and a lot of these activities, creating those documents, printing those documents, they take up a lot of time, valuable time of the employees of the company. So what we help them with is automating these activities with build process automation in order to make sure that the time required to create those documents is reduced, but also it frees up all that time from the employees, and they can play an important role somewhere else in the supply chain. So that's one of the areas where we have
It makes sense. And one of the things you already mentioned, SAP Build Process Automation, the technology as part of the business technology platform that you are using. What is for a customer the core reason to use automation technology? You already spoke about efficiency, you know, winning, doing things quicker and shorter. Is there also a quality topic over there to use automation?
Yeah, quality also plays an important role, especially if you come into repetitive cycles, repetitive activities. Employees tend to sometimes make small mistakes. Well, if you have a robot doing these activities, as long as the data comes in a clean format, the robot can handle this perfectly fine. So it definitely plays an important role in quality, but also in the labor time. Labor shortage is a real big thing in certain markets, and if you can automate those tasks, you free up your workforce for other activities.
We then spoke to Fitcoin, a fitness application company that tokenizes and rewards people's healthy habits. They describe how they built a new business platform from scratch to create an app that promotes post-pandemic health. And they also talk about how AI can provide secure, personalized data and personalized health advice on sleep, food intake, and exercise.
So then in 2017, we got the opportunity to create a new platform from scratch, using the SAP Mobile Innovation Lab. And we decided that we want to have a multi-wearable platform. So we don't want to manufacture any hardware anymore, because that gave us a lot of problems. But we built something new, and then Fitcoin became really the incentive solution in the platform. And through Integration Suite, we make different APIs with Garmin, with Fitbit, with Apple, with Google. So we can collect the data and then reward people for their healthy choices. And then you can use the Fitcoin really as a token to buy all kinds of incentives which are provided by your employer in this case.
So very interesting. So that's the status today. Now, if you look at the future, what would be your dream in maybe 10 years from now?
I dream big. The solution we're providing right now is really a B2B solution. Because that's where we originally came from. So this is a very logical step for us to do. But in my opinion, we should go from B2B to C, to the consumer market. Not directly, but in my opinion, people should be able to collect Fitcoins and earn Fitcoins in the supermarket, in stores, maybe even at the gas station, because this problem really affects us all. And we all have a responsibility when it comes to turning this pandemic around. Because on one hand, the technology is responsible for our inactive lifestyles, because we're doing now our job mostly sitting behind a desk, working behind a computer. But that same technology can get us moving again. Mm-hmm. But we have to do it all together. It's not possible for us as a small company to solve this problem by ourselves. We really need the partners and the ecosystem of SAP to help us to spread the word and help people to live a more healthy life.
Still looking at this future, is there anything regarding technology that you're expecting to help you achieve that?
Yeah, definitely it is. And I think that you will hear it often. Artificial intelligence. We collect a lot of data Your privacy is fully secured, by the way. But we collect the data, and in my opinion, within 1 or 3 years, we can provide you as a user with personalized advice when it comes to physical activity, eating habits, maybe sleep or stress. And I think artificial intelligence would be the best solution to do it. So you get the idea that it's personal for you, and it will be personal. So I strongly believe in artificial intelligence, and that it should also play a role when it comes to corporate well-being and health.
We also talked to Girteka, a European-wide transport company, who tell us how they rationalise their massive influx of real-time data and how their staff are using the technology.
How many people are using DataSphere? How many people use the data that you bring together in that DataSphere application?
So I think roughly now we have like 200-300 users who are, proactively consuming the data. Obviously, there are, more developer roles who are more technically involved, right? So probably those guys are a bit behind the scene, let's put it like this, right? But really from the business side, I think it's something around 200-300 people.
Finally, Sanctuary, a leading housing and care provider in the UK, demonstrates how they created a pandemic warehouse in collaboration with SAP to control their data, helping frontline staff and vulnerable customers during COVID.
During the pandemic, we had a huge challenge. We had a lot of frontline staff and vulnerable people that we needed to collect information on. We started off by pulling it together in any way that we could, whether that be Excel, SQL databases, anything that we had that we could get our hands on. We were using to pull information on so we could see what was happening frontline, so we could see the impact to our staff and to our most vulnerable customers. Now, that was mainly within our care homes, because obviously the older generation were really hit hard by the pandemic. We were in an unsustainable situation. We needed to make it so it was sustainable for us to get the insight as quickly as possible to decision makers, so we can actually manage the impact of the pandemic on everybody. We had an internal chat. As a BTP user, we had the idea that we'd spin up a HANA database and create a pandemic warehouse so that we could pull everything together. So I jumped on the phone, gave our account exec a quick call and asked his advice. He suggested that we took on Data Warehouse Cloud. Now, we'd looked at Data Warehouse Cloud about 6 months beforehand, and we'd actually discounted it at that point in time because it was a new product, and we were a bit worried about taking on something so new. But in the world of cloud, 6 months is a very long time these days. So we spent some time with some SAP architects. We spent some time with the product team, and we actually came to a decision, again with our partner NTT in this case, that Data Warehouse Cloud would be the right solution to actually manage our data for the pandemic. We spent a lot of time with the product team throughout the whole of rolling out Data Warehouse Cloud. And that was due to the fact that it was new, that nobody really knew the technology. NTT were learning it, we were learning it. The product team was still developing it alongside. We were having fixes rolled out on a weekly, fortnightly basis. But it was a really, really collaborative effort, and probably one of the most humbling experiences I've ever had in my technology career, the way the three companies came together. The result was something quite groundbreaking for us at the time. It gave us a we overlaid SAC over the top of it, and it gave us a dashboard that wasn't real time, but it was close to real time, that gave us a visibility of the critical impact of the pandemic on our most vulnerable and our staff. And we were talking, if we look at our care homes, we're talking around 6,500 staff and about 4,500 older people. So we're talking about a lot of people that were at risk. And this actually gave us the information to manage that. It was a brilliant piece of work. It resulted in our first Customer Success Award that we won in 2021, which we're very, very proud of.
We're nearing the end of the programme, and we hope you've enjoyed it. Let's recap on what we've seen today. Joe Nunes de Matos and Sandrine Pons set out the scene by presenting us with the facts on the state of our planet, our carbon emissions, and the effect this is having on our natural ecosystem. Gunther Rothermill talked to us about how carbon accounting and SAP's Green Ledger can monitor and control your business's carbon footprint. Intel's Michael Bates enlightened us on their mission to reduce their own footprint, drive sustainability in their own products, and collaborate across the whole ecosystem to drive more sustainable outcomes in businesses on a global level. We heard testimonials from our guests at our first ever Innovation Forum. This event explored how we can do more to lower our impact on the environment, innovate, and promote carbon neutrality. Our attendees underline the need for tech leadership and for companies to act responsibly if they're to thrive in the decades to come. After that, we took a deeper dive into SAP's cloud ERP innovations on sustainable processes with Veronique and Ronald. Then we heard from Amista, Fitcoin, Sanctuary and Girteka on their journey with SAP technology and how it has helped them negotiate an ever-changing landscape when it comes to updating their business processes, improving the supply chain, harvesting valuable up-to-the-minute data, and engaging their customers. I want to thank Intel for their support and their wisdom on green energy. And finally, news just in. To celebrate your attendance, we're planting a tree for each and every one of you who joined us today. Here's Professor Wiggins to explain more. What's that? I'm a bit deaf. Oh yes, trees. Trees improve air quality, produce oxygen through photosynthesis, they trap carbon dioxide, filter and improve water. Trees intercept rainfall, reduce flooding, prevent erosion. They slow down wind speed, provide shade and habitat for plants and animals. Trees also reduce noise pollution, block unsightly views, and improve physical and mental health. Thank you, Professor Wiggins. Well, that's all from the SAP Sustainability Forum. We hope you enjoyed the show and gained some insight into how we can rethink sustainability in the era of cloud. I want to thank our amazing contributors, especially Intel, for their wisdom and support. And remember, you can explore sustainability further in your own time, at your own pace, on the SAP Immersive Journey, where you can access more content, demos, book meetings, talk live with experts, and much, much more. Thanks for joining us. Tomorrow is now. Let's make the world a better place.